This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, mics, everyone. All right, good evening. The time being 4:45 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting of December 15th, 2025 to order. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Let's start out with some announcements. Town offices will be closed starting at noon on December 24th and reopen on Monday, December 29th. Town offices will also be closed on New Year's Day, Thursday, January 1st, 2026. Applications for elderly and veterans credits are due into the Selectmen's office by April 15th. That's April 15th of 2026. These forms can be found on our website. Abatement applications can also be found on our website, and the deadline for submission is March 1st. That's March 1st of 2026. All these documents are printed and available in the Selectmen's office. Does any other selectmen have any other announcements that they wanted to add? Okay. Donations. Senior Center donation of $100 from Joseph and Sandra Plesner. Thank you very much.
Make a motion, we accept that donation and with the thank you.
Second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Parks. Donations from attendees of the Christmas party in the amount of $103. Thank you very much, community, for that. All right. Moving on to town properties. We're going to discuss Simmons Court.
Mr. Chairman, as I've done in the past, I would like to recuse myself from the discussion for voting on that property.
Okay, thank you. And our town administrator, you are now up.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I have two that I received from our real estate agents, Deb and Greg Peverly. There was only one copy, but they are both marked clearly A and B. And on the reverse side, you'll see SEH on one side of the seal and ASD on the other side. SEH obviously is me, and ASD is Amy Despens. I did that. I asked her to show that it's sealed.
Yep.
And I'll bring them up. You can open them, and then the three of you can look at them.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yep. Great. Thank you. Okay, first.
Not sure, Mr. Chairman, that I only put letter A and letter B on the envelopes, so
Yep.
if you would just,
Yep, we'll do
Yep.
A first,
okay.
and then we'll open B.
Thank you.
All set? All right, I'll take one. You're not reusing these folders, just so you know.
No, I didn't think they would.
All right.
Make a motion, we accept the first offer that you just passed out for
So that would be A.
A for a total of 81,500. Is that correct?
Permit.
If we're doing 500 over increments. I'm sorry, I don't know the name. I didn't look at the names.
No, this. I'll let you review A again. Make sure your names are correct. Correctly. That's okay. We'll just say it as A.
Okay.
Okay, so there's a motion, motion on the floor.
Second.
Second, okay. Any discussion on that? Okay, hearing none. Okay, motion passes to accept the offer on High Street.
No,
I'm
Simmons
sorry,
Court.
Simmons Court. Sorry, Simmons Court. uh, For the offer of A for 81.5.
Call
Mhm.
for it.
aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Oh, aye, yes, sorry. Sorry, my mind's in like 4 different places. Yes, I am.
Yes.
Another
Another 11.
Yeah.
one lived.
Very excited.
All right, so you'll take care of the
Yep.
letting Greg know.
I will.
Okay.
A is A. Just gonna verify that.
Yep. A is A. That is the offer that was approved. Yep, accepted.
81.5.
Okay. All right.
If we get that deal in the next couple of hours, we won't have to borrow at the tan.
Not true.
Yeah.
Not true. Wishful thinking.
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, did you want to do the minutes before you move into Tim?
Yes, I would.
Because we're 4 behind now. I didn't realize that until Sue pointed it out.
And let me pull up my book here. So I'm hoping that everybody's is in the order that I have it. So I'd like to start with November 13th. Are we good with reviewing those?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
I'd like to make a motion that we accept the minutes as written for November 13th, 2025.
Second.
Mhm.
Second. Any discussion on it?
No.
No? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, moving on to the meeting minutes for November 20th, 2025. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written. Any a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
This is the one that was corrected,
Correct.
right?
Yep. Yes.
I'm
All right.
good.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. Okay, moving on to November 25th, 2025 meeting minutes. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written. Any a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Okay. And is that all of them?
That's it.
That's it, right? There was
12-4.
three.
12-4.
12-4.
12-4.
Four? I don't think I have that.
That was a very brief meeting.
Okay, let me see if I can find it in here because I don't have 12-4.
I don't think I have it either. I just have November 25th.
Yep.
No, I do. Sorry, I do.
You do?
I
Okay.
do.
Let me see if I can find it. You have it?
I haven't seen it yet.
That was a very large one. It's like 5 pages, 4 pages.
Oh, here we go. I got it. All right. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of December 4th as written. Any second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Okay.
On page 3,
Page
very
3.
top. It says propane is a viable alternative to natural gas. It is similar and is interchangeable.
Hmm.
It's only interchangeable if you, change the orifice and whatnot
Yes, you have to adapt your
for it.
fixtures.
So does interchangeable mean that, if you're using natural gas, you can just hook up with propane and go?
Well,
No,
That's
you
a good
can't.
question.
That's correct. You can't.
You
You
can't.
can't.
No.
you can't.
Well, I mean, you can, but
Well-
you don't want to. Makes a horrible hissing noise.
Yeah.
How would you like that word?
Oh, I don't know. Interchangeable with
Yeah.
Modifications to the.
proper
Modifications.
modification.
Yeah,
Thank you.
proper
Okay.
modifications, yeah.
All right. So propane is a viable alternative to natural gas. It is similar and is interchangeable with modifications to the
Orifice.
orifice.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Sue, I
Uh,
hope you get that. Any other? Anything else? Okay. All
That
right.
one goes back in the book.
So we'll send that one back to add that in there.
Mr. Chairman, before you get to Tim, may I just I didn't provide a TA report because I think we're going to be here long enough, but I do have 2 items that I would like to briefly discuss.
Yeah, go ahead.
One is I'd like to personally thank the board and the employees of the town of Tilton for a wonderful peace plant. I got educated on it today. That was given to me as a result of the death of a family member recently. Thank you very much. It's a very kind gesture. And I will make sure that my wife takes care of that plant so it survives. Thank you again. And on a very nice note, I got governor and council yesterday. I was at their meeting, rubbing elbows and schmoozing, I guess. And we were successful in receiving and approved a grant for $229,600 for our clean diesel grant that was accepted and passed unanimously. So with the board's approval, I will ask Kevin to, DPW Director Duval, I should say, to um, order that. And then we'll begin the process of, it's going to take, I think he said it was going to take 90 days to build. He'll be here later if you want to ask him questions about it.
Great.
And at the same time, I was encouraged to opt for a second grant request to replace the 2006 Peterbilt, which also meets the criteria of the clean diesel grant. And I would ask if the board allows me to do that, that Director Duval get a quote and ask the board to authorize me to submit a second grant. There is still some money available. The town of Belmont has received 2 trucks through this similar grant. So it would be a substantial savings. And as I indicated yesterday to the governor and council individually, not collectively, that it was a great help to the taxpayers of the town of Tilton and tax burden relief. We've been putting monies away to make sure that we can replace this equipment, and it would be very helpful, and especially at the time where we're all struggling with increasing taxes and economy and that stuff. So,
Okay.
and I did share the board's appreciation and thanks to the governor personally and council. So,
Thank you. I'm okay with it. Any
Mhm.
consensus?
I'm okay with it. To get our other part of that, 80 some odd $1,000, are we doing a warrant article or are we just going to do that in the capital reserve?
right in the capital
We're
reserve.
going to put it in the capital reserve and do that.
Yeah, Tim
Yeah.
will talk
Okay.
at some point about how much money that we have in there. We've already saved. We've been putting 60,000 away for
Mhm.
several years.
Right.
So that kitty's looking pretty good, but I think Tim will talk to this later. Him and I had a discussion about the timing is perfect and very helpful. So
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Good job.
Great.
with that, thank you.
Yeah, if I may just add on to that, if we are in position now to order that truck before the end of the year, we'll have the option, since that money could be considered encumbered, we'll have the option going forward whether we use 2025 money, if there's money left over for that, or take it out of the capital reserve fund. The original plan was the capital reserve fund. But looking at a second truck, that's going to deplete that fund, that much more. So, we just have to see what kind of timing that would be. But at least we'll have the option either way, as long as we get the truck ordered by the end of the month. So,
Okay.
you ready for me?
Great. Anything else, Scott?
No, I'm all set, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Yeah, you're up.
All right, super. I've got 5 items to cover with you tonight. And if you turn to the finance tab of your binders, I'd like to start with changes to the operating budget. So the budget committee met last night and they've now voted on approximately not quite 25% of the budget. They still have the larger departments to vote on: administration, police, and DPW. But all the other departments and outside agencies they have voted on. There are a few items that need mentioning. First of all, in the land use department, we do not have the capability or the ability to encumber money for consulting work. because we don't have a contract or an obligation to do that. So for the master plan. But as you may already be aware, the land use coordinator has been working with a volunteer to write that information. So we have the capability of getting it. It's just going to be different. And so the note that has been maintained there underneath the land use master plan has been removed since there won't be any ability to encumber that money. The other item is that the department head, the land use department head, has removed the $13,000 as the contingency for marketable salary, and that the budget committee feels as though the Board of Selectmen would be able to find the money during the year if required. And there was considerable discussion about that last night, but it became obvious that that there are other ways of accomplishing this, and that we would just take that out. So the department head had removed it from the department request, and so I would ask the board to mirror that vote and vote on the bottom line of the land use department at $167,763. If you would so move and vote on that bottom line for the land use.
Okay. I'll make a motion to accept that of the 167,763.
Correct.
Okay. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Okay, discussion.
We're changing our vote because the budget committee,
Because the department request was
because the
removed.
department request. But if the selectmen felt that was, that the budget was fine, why are the selectmen changing their minds?
It is completely up to you. It
I mean, am I saying that correctly?
Yes.
I mean, we made a decision based on information given to us.
Mhm.
Correct.
And now because the budget committee objected to it,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I haven't heard any other information that would make me change my mind.
Well, I think in the discussion, the department head was there last night, and in discussing with the department head today, it seemed as though that was a
Well, I understand
reasonable
what you
course.
said,
Yeah.
how the budget committee feels. But again, as a selectman, the information I received, I'm still good with it.
Right. So it really becomes a contingency, the 13,000. In other words, it's not an automatic increase for the position.
Of course not.
But it's set aside in the event it's needed. So,
I mean, we're good. I'll just vote accordingly. I'm just curious.
I'd like to ask for the department head to step up to just maybe talk a little bit more about it. If there's any information that's changed or anything like that.
Good idea.
Yes.
Okay.
When the department head came to the Board of Selectmen and explained why I felt it was necessary to put that monies in for 2025 for the market value and bringing value of the land use coordinator up to a marketable value, because in the last 17 or 18 years that I've been here, we've done it for every single department, non-contractual in every which way we could, except land use. The only time that it was ever raised to a level acceptable in a market value was for a 10-day stint that somebody was hired. And that was it. So in the best interest of the town of Tilton, if that person was to retire mid-time, you wouldn't have to dig up $20,000 or $30,000 midstream and have to scramble out of the budget that kind of money. But last night, it became about the person and not about the office. It was very clear that it became about the person and not the office. And that is further from the truth that it could be. Anybody that knows me in the last 18 years knows that I would never be self-serving like that for the town of Tilton. So it was very difficult to get through last night. We were called names that we didn't deserve and berated like we didn't deserve. So say no more. Just withdrawing. I feel that if it's just a battle that the town of Tilton doesn't need, and if you want to at some point look at the demographics of the office and who's in that office and what you're going to do and what the future brings for the land use coordinator and the land use department itself and what you really want to do and look at that. Every time I wanted to say the growth and the self-sustaining, I was talked over. They didn't want to hear that. It didn't matter. It was insignificant. It just didn't care. There was a statement made by another budget committee member that our budget is increasing, yet there is no increase in our census and increase in residential, increase in this. And so I tried to give them our sheet, which I just updated yesterday morning for that purpose, because in the last 3 days, we got additional housing, which is coming through. So tried to explain in the last 8 months, approval of 390 residential homes. That's what got approved. I still have on the dockets a lot more coming. And that's not what other towns and cities are going through. This is a tremendous boom that Tilton is going through. This is not just nothing. Our days are sometimes no lunch and you're just going. And it's constantly a checklist. Did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this for the laws that you have to abide by? And they didn't want to hear it. They didn't even look at the paper. You take the time to do it, and they didn't even look at it. So every time they asked me a question, am I qualified to do the job? And then it began into a...
And we stopped that. We stopped that discussion.
Tim quickly tried to stop that conversation because we are employees.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's the reason. It's not a battle that we should be fighting. It's about the town of Tilton. It's not about a personal gain. It's about the town of Tilton. I'm not ready for that fight.
Well, and there is a.
Hold on one
Okay,
second.
sure.
No, go ahead. I'm ready.
Okay. Go ahead.
Well, there's a technical aspect too, that in the budget, I would have to add a line number next to that amount. And were that zeroed out at town meeting, then the board's position of being able to add contingency money for the position. If the position were open during the year, then your hands would be tied. That no means no. So you wouldn't be able to even put money into that line for that purpose. So by having it there, it actually, it would lessen your options, I guess, is the best way to put it. So that was my thinking.
Okay.
We can move monies around in that budget. It sounds terrible. Any way we want.
Right,
That's right, right.
correct,
Mr.
Bottom
Chairman,
line budget.
right.
And the
But-
selectmen's budget is a default budget.
Hmm.
It only comes into play if the budget committee misses a date, a hearing, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
But I'm ready to make a statement.
Mr. Chairman, might I just insert something quick? I'm going to be, as your HR director, I'm going to be talking to tonight to this group about last night's meeting, and I would encourage you to watch it. I haven't finished it. I didn't get to it today. I will tell you that I
We'll just-
personally am involved.
We'll just leave it at that. Okay. Did you said you're ready to make a statement? Did you want?
In my vote.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have a motion. Thank you for stepping up to do that. We have a motion. We have a second. We've had discussion. So let us take a vote. All in favor of the motion, which was to accept the land use budget as written of 167,763. That's the motion on the table. So all in favor?
I'm going to recuse myself.
Yep. Okay. Any no?
No.
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 Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm a
very
no
good.
as well.
Okay, so then the next items are going to be at the very end in the operating or the
Point of
outside
order,
agencies.
that means no, it's staying in?
Yes.
Yeah,
Means,
yep.
yeah, our budget doesn't change.
And I think Catherine brings up a good point, and I'm glad that she clarified that a little bit for me
Absolutely.
especially. So,
It's a self-sustaining department and then
Yes.
some, right?
Right.
which it wasn't last year.
That's correct.
Correct.
But if it is zeroed out, it does become a problem at town meeting. So it's important to make sure it's supported at town meeting, because otherwise the board is tied down to a no means no for that purpose, because it's tied to the purpose.
Well, I think
You're talking about the 10-year plan?
No, I'm talking about the contingency
Oh,
money for the
yes,
yes,
we
for the-
can,
for the land
we
use
can ask
coordinator.
them to put $1 in it.
Mhm.
Just something to hold it.
Exactly. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay.
If it came to that. So in any case,
All right.
on page 11, so there was there are 4 outside agencies that that in your budget information that's been handed out over the course of the budget cycle for CASA, Lakes Region Mental Health Center, Family Promise of the Lakes Region, and Lakes Region Visiting Nurses. The budget committee had voted on all these, and in fact, the first 3 were zeroed out by the budget committee, and the budget committee voted on $1,000 for Lakes Region Visiting Nurses, which is a new outside agency for the town. So you do have in your budget packets, I believe that Amy left for you
yeah.
information on these agencies.
So I do have I have 3 of the 3 agencies that were, no, wait, hold on. I have one for Lakes Region Mental Health Center, CASA, and Lakes Region Visiting Nurse Association.
So to have a complete budget in terms of, where they voted on these, the Board of Selectmen should vote on these for whether it's tonight or at another time.
So I, hmm. I can't sit and just not say anything. I'm not pleased with zeroing these out at all. And I think it's, to be honest with you, I think it's a disgrace. So Lakes Region Mental Health Service, right?
Mhm.
They serve, and I'm going to read it right here because it's on the front page of this packet. They've served they've served 53 children, and that's 0 to 17 years in this community. That's 438 hours they've spent. Adults aged 18 to 61, they've served 63 in the town of Tilton. That's 1,170 hours. And then elder, 62 and over, 12. That's 552 hours. To not put any money in there, it's disgusting. Because, and I say that because of the fact that these service providers, including CASA, including the visiting nurses, they're out there working with our most vulnerable population. And I think if we are, as a board, or for the betterment of the town of Tilton, that's just my opinion. And I have to say, I can't believe that it's just zeroed out.
Well, the budget committee studies these outside agencies very thoroughly.
Mhm.
They look at the amount of money that they collect, the
Yep.
amount of money that actually goes out to help
Right.
people. They also look at, and one of the big comparisons is, do they treat all the communities
Mhm.
that they seek money from equally, the same?
Yep.
And the majority of them do not. A lot of
would beg to
them,
differ on that.
with our population, which is small compared to others in the Lakes region, a lot of them were asking the most from us.
Mhm.
And some of them almost twice as much as a larger community. And so that's why you see these zeroed out, because when I was on the budget committee, they were asked for years to address that and did not.
Mhm.
And still continued to ask from us, like 3 times what they would ask from a larger community that they're providing more services to. So it was off balance, is what I'm telling you. It wasn't equal.
Yep.
We weren't paying the same as what other communities are paying for the same service.
And I take that into consideration in my comments and statements. And I think that,
And the Lakes Region visiting nurse, this is relatively new because it's
Correct.
Franklin visiting nurses that usually services this community.
I think that there is a difference now in the last 2 or 3 years. If you go into the hospital or you go into any type of medical facility and need home health care in any shape and manner, a lot of agencies now do not ask. They just assign whatever it is. And the Lakes Region visiting nurses is fairly new, and they're getting a lot of the Lakes Region, if you would, now the Concord Hospital. They don't ask unless you have the wherewithal to know that, say, I would like Franklin VNA, or I would like Granite State VNA, whatever. You have the right to say that. It's been brought up to me several times that I have a choice to pick, but they come right out and say, oh, this is who's going to service you. No, sorry. but I know that.
Right.
And there's a lot of people that do not know that, and they're just assigned these people. And that is the medical world
Mhm.
for us today. And that's why Lakes Region Visiting Nurses has a little bit of coming into Tilton. It's always been the Franklin VNA, and it's always been the location, and they get assigned to it, but that's all changed now in the medical world. And I totally agree with you, Eric, on this. I don't know family promises of the Lakes region, but I do know CASA and Lakes Region Mental Health and Lakes Region Visiting Nurses somewhat. So I agree with you that we should not fund them something.
Well, and that's my concern. You know, I've seen firsthand the services that Lakes Region Mental Health Center provides. Worked with them
Mhm.
multiple times for many years. And I just feel like there's an opportunity for us to provide some financial support to services that they are providing to our residents. And it's not just residents, it's our most vulnerable populations. And we do have them in our community. And I understand your point, Catherine, completely. And there is some unbalance, no question. But I just feel like by zeroing it out, it's almost like a kick in the stomach to those that are getting those services. That's just my personal opinion.
Tim, do you know if these were zeroed out the year before? If these are the same organizations? Other than the Lakes Region VNA, because that's new.
Yeah, Lakes Region VNA and also Family Promise are both new. The other two had been zeroed out, but in years prior to that, they had been funded at one point, kind of off and on. It depended on the budget committee at the time.
So we don't know what they were funded last year.
No, they were, CASA and Lakes Region Mental Health were funded zero last year.
Yes.
Lakes Region Mental Health is historically never funded fully funded.
Yep. Yes, I'm definitely aware of that.
They've never
Yeah.
been fully funded.
I just feel like zero is
Right.
wrong. It's just my personal opinion. And I'm not trying to sway anyone. That's my personal opinion.
Well, we think about what our own welfare director is going through right now and the amount of time that she spends in all of our pantries, police department with homeless and shelters and things like that. Just look around us. It's all around us. These are the people that help that.
They do. You know, and right now there's going through it another area of Lakes Region that there's a lot of bashing right now on nonprofits in general. And, you know, it's too bad. I don't know. I think it hits me because I have worked directly with these organizations, stood side by side with them when they're dealing with someone. And I just, that's just my opinion. But like I said, I'm just one vote. I'm not going to try to sway anyone. And I just felt like I needed to get that off my chest. So
Trying to look through the meeting minutes of the budget committees when these individuals came through. Because there was a reason. There was a heated discussion through every organization that comes in front of us on the budget committee. Some of them, that's why I was trying to find out if these were one of the two or the few that were just zeroed out the previous year, and if that was just because it was previously zeroed out, that's why it was zeroed
but
out
like
this
you,
year.
but like you just said, the heated discussion. That's the problem, right? Why? And I have watched some budget meetings over the years. I find it very challenging that in my own head that these discussions get so heated.
Well, they don't normally. When I was on the budget committee, which
Right.
wasn't long ago,
I would say
They
just
really
don't look at the
weren't-
cover
they-
sheet, see what they're offering, look it through the whole packet and
Yeah.
see what finances they have on hand and,
Yep.
and that kind of stuff. That's kind of what I think the budget committee is looking at.
that is what the budget
Yeah.
committee looks
Right.
at.
Yes, exactly.
How much money
I
comes
mean,
in?
we could have
how much
any
do they get
organization
back?
come through, everybody's
Yep.
got a legitimate story.
Yep. 100%. I agree with that. I just know.
And we can't be
firsthand.
benevolent with other people's monies.
Yep.
I mean, that's the other thing. I think zeroing them out is not saying that these outfits don't provide services. It's like, should we be giving our taxpayers dollars to these
Mhm.
organizations that aren't meeting our requirements, which is to treat us the same as other communities? And I'm saying that because that was one of the biggest issues.
Mhm.
And I won't go into the specifics of, each organization, but
Right.
I mean, some of them, it was just so lopsided. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that.
And then the fact that they don't listen, I mean, we tell them, we want to be treated the same as these other communities.
Mhm.
And then they come back the next year and they haven't really changed anything. They're still asking for the pot of gold.
Do you
And
know,
Tilton doesn't have a pot of gold.
do you know if Lakes Region Mental Health is still owned by Genesis?
It is not. No, I don't believe so. Let me double check, but I don't believe so.
We had a lot of issues when it was. A lot.
Well, and we had testimony 4
Mhm.
years ago. Actually, clients of Genesis,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
there were some problems. Hopefully, they've overcome them.
I usually look at how much they actually serve Tilton residents.
So Lakes Region Mental Health is used to be known as Genesis Behavioral Health, which I was aware of that.
Right.
And the transition happened in 2018.
Mhm. So they still own it.
Well, yeah, the name's
Different name.
yeah.
Got it.
So okay.
I would give them something, but wouldn't give them all that they're asking for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Family Promise. I'm sorry. I have no idea who they are.
Mr. Chairman, that was brought by a Human Service Director. She had written you a quick note some time ago that they were new and they were coming in and that she had worked with them in the past. And she spoke very highly of them.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
So like Tim said, it's not something we have to vote on right now.
But good, because I haven't read all of my stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good Lord.
So
Okay, so do you
okay.
want to pass that to your next meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if you turn to page 13, these are the encumbrances that we're recommending. So there's a total of $72,164, and they encompass Mill Street rail repair, the town hall masonry and trough repair, full-size baler, a rail trail repair, and then the voting machine that we encumbered from last year, but never received this year, and we're likely to receive in January. So we need to encumber the monies into the new year. So if the board would make a motion pertaining to those items for $72,164, I would appreciate it.
The Mill Street the trough, and the rail trail, we've received money for those repairs, have we not?
Except for the rail trail, Selectman Dawson. We still haven't received it from the company because there's an EPA cleanup there. And I've written to the insurance company on 2 different occasions. And using the EPA officials, they're going to, before they make good to us on the damage to the fence, they're going to pay their cleanup costs. So, but we will get it. So, but we have received Mill Street repair and trough reimbursement as well.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So
And refresh my memory, why are we going to a full-size baler?
So
We have a small-size baler.
the small size baler we have right now will be used for aluminum, and then the large baler will be used for the cardboard. There's more options for marketing the cardboard with large bales, and it'd just be more efficient. This quote is for
we discussed, I think.
I barely remember.
this quote is for a brand new baler. There are some used balers out there, so that this would be the maximum that we would expend. If would be fine with finding a used baler. There was one on Craigslist for about $5,500, but no telling that that's going to be available
Well,
when we're ready.
Are we receiving enough cardboard down there to warrant?
Yes, we've done
know
an
I have to
entire
bring mine
tractor
down.
trailer load of cardboard out of there.
Okay.
My neighbors are every Saturday morning.
And
I usually do.
there are fewer
usually go
locations
every
that will
Saturday.
accept the smaller bale of cardboard.
I
So
understand
we're
that,
very limited in where we can market those.
but they are being accepted somewhere.
Right, just for lesser revenue, lesser
I
money.
think the most, people want to recycle more than when we have down there. Glass is the big one.
Yeah, I've
But
had
I don't think there's a market out there for
No
glass.
market for glass.
Yeah, I've had some residents reach out to me in regards to that and begging
And plastic's the
To-
other one,
to
but I don't think there's a market for
bring
them.
those back.
I think this is the DPW director coming if you have questions.
So.
Yeah.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So if the board would vote on those encumbrances, and as I mentioned before, if we order the truck before the end of the year, we will have a purchase order for that, and it could be considered an encumbrance, or we can take it from the highway equipment capital reserve fund.
Make a motion, we approve $72,164 for the encumbrances for 2025 to 26.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Wonderful. Okay, the next item, that concludes the budget information. The next item is regarding, and I should mention, the Budget Committee's next meeting on January 7th at 6 PM. And that's when they're going to continue voting on the operating budget for the administration budget, the police, public works budgets. So next item is the town warrant. So behind your budget, you'll see the updated warrant for 2026. And there are a few changes in here. The first item is Article 2, which are 3 zoning amendments that the planning board needs to still review and accept. But this is the draft of those amendments. And then the rest is, as you've seen before, with the exception of Article 5 on page 2 for the Highway Equipment Capital Reserve Fund. As of today, we had a balance of $23,014 in the Recycling Revolving Fund. So in keeping with the fact that each year we're going to raise $60,000 and offset it by the amount that was raised during the year through the revolving fund, we only have to now raise $36,986 through taxation.
But doesn't that, excuse me,
No, go ahead.
doesn't that deplete what I get? We get this grant, and I'm thrilled to pieces about this grant. But putting it into this and doing it this way, it takes away what you had planned for the 10-year plan going forward, what what we had in there, and putting the $60,000 in for the other, whatever truck that you're replacing with the grant. There are other trucks we could be replacing this year if we put the 60 grand into it. Couldn't we just put it in as a warrant article and
It could be. It could be.
leave the
Separate.
capital equipment reserve with the standard 60,000 and put that in as separate, because there's other plans here. The last couple of years, I think that we did a disservice and we left things out of the highway. Our fleet is in a need to be updated. All of them. I don't know if anybody's written in them lately, but they're, other than the red pickup, I think they're pretty much, a lot of them need to be updated. And I think it's time that we get on a pretty workable plan to get those replaceable as we do with the cruisers.
I was just going to ask that. So obviously with the cruisers, right? They put on a lot more miles,
Mhm.
a lot more wear and tear, I think. But is there
They're paid by a lot by the detail fund money,
Right.
but still it's,
a schedule that's
There
has
there
been
is.
in the past
We have a
on-
10-year schedule,
for DPW's vehicles?
Yes, the
And
director
that's-
has a schedule.
and that's with putting in 60,000 a year. I can say that if you were to do a warrant article, and of course the DPW director might like to chime in on this, but if you do a warrant article, it also highlights the fact that the cost of the new truck is going to be offset, 80% of which is going to be offset from the grant. So if town meeting wants to see more money in that and raise the 80,000 or up to 80,000 in taxation, if they choose not to, then it could just simply come out of the capital reserve fund. So I mean, it would be easy to add a warrant article to this if the board wants to.
I think at this point, I'd like to hear from Kevin, because I think we can go that way, but if it doesn't, then go into the capital reserve. But if it does go, we can utilize that very quickly to update another one, update, fix it up or whatever, and get it on board quicker.
Would you like to hear my plan?
Yes, please.
So yes, this grant opportunity is amazing because it does replace vehicles ahead of schedule. When I first came on board, I don't know if you remember me saying that big trucks we should get at least 30 years out of.
Mhm.
And my equipment plan reflected that with proper maintenance and upkeep. But taking advantage of this grant program, we can leapfrog this system and update all of the equipment years ahead of schedule. And that is my plan.
Mhm.
I wasn't sure if we were going to get approved for this grant, so I was holding off on updating the equipment plan. And obviously we did get approved for it. So I will sit down and revamp, redo the equipment plan and adjust accordingly. Now, the extra funds that are in that account could be used to update some other equipment sooner so that it doesn't just sit there idle, and we can update our equipment to make it more efficient, more user-friendly, things like that. But I am going to stay true in thinking that trucks should last us 30 years. We should have, it should be, whether it's trucks, equipment, whether excavators, bucket loaders, things like that, they should have a 30-year shelf life with proper maintenance. This is a huge reset button that we're able to push. And it's pretty awesome that we can take advantage of it.
So we've got the grant. You can relook at your 10-year plan for that and then come back to us with what we should be putting in to the reserve for future use.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And or whether we should put that in the warrant, the 80,000 for the grant.
I think the board should make a decision tonight on whether you want a separate warrant article because.
I
we're
think
gonna
a
be-
separate warrant article showing the grant, showing that we
It will.
received this money
Mhm.
and it's not tax, well, not town property tax money,
Right.
state money that's going to be used for this purpose.
But
It lets the town know that we're,
but taking out the $80,000 would be tax money.
Right. The match is what we'd be raising and
Raising
appropriating.
inappropriate.
well, let's see what it looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll add an item for that and have the draft for your next meeting.
Okay.
So unless there's any other questions on the warrant, the rest of it was as it was. And as you may recall, we have the modify the disabled veterans exemption was the last item, and that was on before.
Did you have
And
something?
it's also been updated
What's that?
for,
Did you have something you wanted to say?
I was just going to ask a question. This warrant needs to be done by what? First part of February?
no, before that. So we really should have this done by your second meeting in January. So the budget committee has it for their public hearing.
We don't have any,
So that would be January 15th. Correct?
I believe so.
That's what I'm looking at.
I thought the first part
actually,
of
so-
Did
February is when
hold
the
the
warrant
public
is due.
hearing on bond is January 9th.
We don't have any bond articles in here, right?
Okay.
No, we don't.
So they don't, the budget committee doesn't need this for their hearing. It's a selectmen's warrant.
That's correct. Generally, they, as a courtesy, it's always been given to the budget committee so they see what's going to be presented at town meeting as a courtesy.
I just don't want to be rushed if we need to go back to the drawing board. So, I mean, technically it is, we have to provide the warrant by what, the first part of February, I think. It's
Well,
so,
it has-
no, it's so many days before town meeting.
It has to, yes, I need it for the book.
So my
Oh.
question in regards to the dates. So we won't have a meeting on the 1st. So that following Thursday, I have in the calendar that we don't have a meeting. The next one would be the 12th. So that means we would go
I'm going to go 3 weeks without a meeting?
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So you're looking at the 22nd, the 29th.
Tim, don't we have?
I'm sorry, I was going to change. So the 25th, the 1st, and then the 8th, and then it says the 15th. So that's why
I would suggest having a meeting on the 8th.
so
Yeah, I
We're
would think
scheduled for the.
we are. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So it's switched. Okay. All right.
so the
I'd
8th
bring
and
my sleeping
22nd.
bag.
8th and 22nd.
8th and 22nd, yes. Yep.
Perfect.
8th and 22nd.
Okay, that takes care of the warrant, unless there's any other questions.
Nope.
I will add that warrant article. All right, then we move on to the fun stuff. So you're going to want to turn the page again in your binders to my report. We've already dealt with the encumbrances. The next item is the recommendation that Amy and I have for changing out the accounting software for the town. So we have been over the last 6 months reviewing software packages We came down to 3 finalists, and they range from $49,000 over the course of 3 years down to $13,000 over the course of 3 years. And the one that we liked the most was also the least expensive. Very impressive package. It's going to take care of just about everything that we need. It's expandable, and we have the capability in-house to do the conversion and implementation to this more easily. The third, there's two of these packages have separate payroll systems. So the most expensive one has a separate payroll system from the system that they sell. So they glom on to another payroll system. The way we would envision doing this is keeping our existing payroll system in-house and using this other system attached to it, similar to what the most expensive system is doing. And that total cost is very reasonable on an ongoing basis. The 3-year cost of this is $13,365. It is payable up front, but that includes all of the conversion and implementation services and support for those 3 years as well. They are looking at us as being a reference site for them. So there are advantages that they see to the town of Tilton in how we are currently using the accounting software and how we envision using their system. And at the same time, the system that we've been on all these years, we've been running it since 2003, and it's been in maintenance mode probably for the last at least 10 to 12 years. They had one since I've been here in 2008. They had one time when they had a showing of some other products that they were thinking about, but otherwise it's just been in maintenance mode. So basically you get tax tables each year and only the bug fixes or things like that. So the good news is that, and I can tell you that the town of Northfield went for the third package, which was the most expensive for us. They do like it, but they spent quite a bit of money up front, and their annual recurring costs are pretty high as well, considering it's more than double of what we currently pay. And we have grant and donation money over the course of the years that we've set aside, anticipating that at some point we're going to have to make a major change in software. And so I really feel very confident and very comfortable that this is the right package for us. I've talked to their references. I've spent numerous demonstrations and discussions with the developers, as well as Amy has. And hands down, this was just really above and beyond the other two. The other thing is that both of these are more New Hampshire based, the first and third. The second one is nationwide, and they are completely integrated package, but again, expensive, and the ongoing support is expensive, and it's a little bit older package in terms of the look and feel and usability of it. So not to say that wouldn't work for us, but so we have the money set aside, and I'm looking for the ability to go ahead and take advantage of a discount that they've put in place, a 25% discount through the end of the year, to go ahead and make a commitment to this.
I move that we license Town Cloud Financial Suite for a total of 3-year cost of $13,365 to be paid for out of the IT grant and donation account, and furthermore to authorize the finance director to execute the necessary license and support agreements.
I'll second. Open for discussion. I have a question.
Sure.
So for the 3-year cost is $13,365. What is it after that?
It is 5,100, I believe it's 50, hang on. I got it here.
The last page here.
The last is on the last.
No, it's, well, yes, it's 5940. We're currently paying 5714 a year. So it's comparable to what we're paying currently.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Wonderful, thank you. And then the
Motion.
last item I have
Mhm.
is relative to our 2026 tax anticipation note. We negotiated down, we were actually being offered a higher rate, and with some negotiations and with the Fed making a slight change, we are able to get a little bit lower rate. So this is, the recommendation is to proceed forward with a not to exceed 4.5% for the TAN, and to of $2.5 million with Franklin Savings Bank, and that to authorize the engagement of legal services that are required for the purpose of securing the TAN.
I move that the town initiate up to $2,500,000 line of credit tax anticipation note with Franklin Savings Bank for the 2026 with the rate of interest not to exceed 4.5%. And further to authorize the engagement of legal services not to exceed $1,500 for the purposes of securing the TAN.
I'll second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Great. We'll be solvent next year. That's good. All right. And unless you have any other questions for me, that's all I have tonight.
Great. Thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, can I have a second before you go in non-public?
Yep, we're gonna do selectmen reports anyways.
Oh,
So
okay.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry.
Go ahead.
Nope. I
ahead.
just, I received a request and I'll pass out copies. Although the date is October 20th, it's the fence sitters to reschedule because we need to provide a letter to the other resident and at least invite them
Mhm.
for the process to make it statutorily legal. So, and I have a date of, a potential date of January 3rd, if that's acceptable. That's a Saturday to the board, to the fence sitters, sorry. Fence viewers, I'm sorry.
Thank you, not fence
I keep-
sitters.
I cannot sit on a fence. Not doing
I
it.
can't either.
I need Sue to make sure she bolds that in red and highlights it so we can save that.
Thank you.
9 a.m.
So January 3rd.
Yes, she can't do the 4th, but she can do the 3rd. The 4th is a Sunday.
9 a.m.
Yeah, and you have the schedule for 9 o'clock on December 3rd.
Okay, so same time.
I will be unavailable.
You'll be in there.
I should be available.
I am.
So you have to notify the abutter. So we really don't know if this date's going to work. The abutter needs to agree. Has the person that asked us to do this agreed to the 3rd?
The person that asked to agree to do this said the only date she couldn't do it was January 4th. So I kind of picked the date of January 3rd.
Mhm.
So we send the letter out
Yeah, we
And-
send the letter out,
and per the
statute. Right. I was
You get-
incorrect. She doesn't, the opposing person does not have to agree. All the letter has to do is acknowledge that the fence viewers are going to be there on that date. And if she wants to attend, she can. and give her input, and/or she doesn't have to attend.
Oh, okay.
It's just a letter of notification, basically.
Okay. And how do you know she received that letter? Or the person received that
Could be
letter?
certified.
certified.
Gotta be
right?
Certified mail?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll send it
Thank you.
certified. Right. Is January 3rd acceptable to everybody?
It is for me.
I think so. What time?
9
9
a.m.
o'clock?
Same time?
Yeah, at 19 Wolf Road.
Mhm.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, thank you. I'll notify the person.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. All right. Moving on to Selectmen reports. Selectman Constantino, you are up first.
I have two things, one of which is going to make a stab at this. I've gotten several calls. I'd really like to make a motion that we try to establish a fifth selectman here. People have called. Why aren't we doing it? The taxpayers voted to have 5 selectmen. It should be 5 selectmen.
Mhm.
You'll go the rest of the time doing a 2-2, or you won't have a vote. Those were some of the comments. I said I would bring it up. I said I would bring it up last meeting. I forgot all about it, and I apologize, but I'd bring it up again. So I'll make a motion that we really should replace John Scanlon and ask for whomever would like to fill in. And it could be a prior selectman, who knows?
Are we going
To send in a letter
Oh, okay. Are we
to
gonna
the board.
Is it going to be would it be the similar process
Mhm.
when
That you went through.
yeah,
Yep.
okay. And John and I went through. Okay.
By the time we go through that process,
It'll be done, right?
the second Tuesday of March, you're only going to have weeks before the election.
But it's also a time when there's critical decisions to be made on warrants and budget and things like that. And
Well, the budget
I-
will be long voted for
that's what
before we have a
people,
fifth selectman.
Well, I'll second that motion.
and I
can
think
have
that
some
that's
more
what people
discussion.
are concerned with, you know?
It's a default budget.
Mm, I get it.
They should be more concerned about the budget committee's budget.
Oh, I'm more concerned with the budget.
I just
committee.
think it gives an unfair advantage to somebody to be appointed by us to serve for a few weeks and then go to the election.
I think they'll know that going in, obviously, that it.
No, I think the people would really know that going in if it gives them an advantage or not advantage. I don't think it gave, I don't know. Everybody knows Eric anyway, before he even got in here. I don't think it gave him an advantage one way or
No,
another.
I think Eric was an exception because he is so well known.
Right.
But if someone who isn't known comes in
Right.
and serves, 6, 7 weeks, it does give them an advantage.
No, I agree with you.
Mhm.
It does give you somewhat of an advantage. I totally agree with you. But it could be, listen, it could be Joe that put in for it. I mean, he's done it twice to us already. Once.
Well, we have a motion and a second. So if there's no more discussion, we can just vote on it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Let the record show I voted no.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. All right. And the other thing I have is, I don't know if you want me to do this in non-public, but last week I told you I would come up with a figure for work being done for a particular person. Want me to do it in non-public? Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
yeah.
I'm done then.
So thank you. You're gonna start that process. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, would the board like me to, I can advertise it in the newspaper We can advertise it on the website, that we're taking applications. Is that how you'd like to do it?
I
Is that
wouldn't-
how you
for-
guys-
I wouldn't advertise it in the newspaper. It would take too long to get there by
Yeah,
the
that's
time you
true.
advertise
Yeah.
it. We,
Facebook and the
Put it on
website?
Facebook. That's what everybody seems to like.
yeah, and then, and just by
Especially
next,
Catherine.
by our next meeting,
Have
She's
a
the Snapchat queen
Okay.
right there.
letter of
letter of
intent,
interest. Okay.
letter of intent, why they would like it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
All right.
I'll do that.
All right. Selectman Dawson. You're up.
I just have one thing I had brought up. It's about the asbestos over on the Manville site, our former Quincy property. I had brought up before that at the zoning board hearing, the applicant, and it's in the minutes, stated that they would not be disturbing the asbestos sites if tested, blah, 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 but those sites aren't tested by anybody. So my question was then, and it still is, what recourse does the zoning board have? I mean, that was testimony at a hearing that determined whether or not they were going to get a variance. So now they are going to disturb the asbestos.
Right.
What recourse is there for the town of Tilton?
I think I'm gonna have to do some legal research on that. I did get a late afternoon notice today
Got it.
from you.
Got it.
Oh, you got it? Okay.
Got it.
Oh, she's got it. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So I do think that we need to revisit that. In fact, you gave me the date. I have it downstairs. I think it's September 28th.
Yeah,
It was a
page
September
6.
28th meeting. My question would be to legal counsel is, does that null and void the approval of the zoning requirement? Was that based, and I'm sorry, I haven't had a chance to read it all, the zoning piece, but does it null and void the authorization of the zoning board gave them by changing the language of the use of the property, of the agreement?
Yeah, I mean, it's an
Yeah.
interest, even if it wasn't this site and
Right.
asbestos, if an applicant comes before the zoning board, gives testimony, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to move this stone wall, I'm not going to do this. And it's a hearing.
Mhm.
And then the zoning board says, okay, yes, we're going to give you the variance. And then the applicant goes forward and does all the things that they said they weren't going to do.
Right.
Does that null and void that variance?
That's going to be.
So who would you think, does
Well,
the New Hampshire Municipal Association
I
answer that?
can begin there. I'm not sure that they have anybody that's an expert in that area. What I was better thinking after Catherine discussed it with me, or the board at the last meeting, was to reach out to Lakes Region Planning Commission and ask them for their opinion based on gathering the material based on the agreement that they made with the zoning ZBA.
But-
So,
Knowing what we know, should we first reach out to find out if in fact there are two options, one of which is not to disturb it, but to bury it?
yeah,
Well, they're moving it for profit.
We don't know that though. There's two options. That option is being placed in front of DES, but there's another option that's also out there. And that's my understanding from the engineer. And if we just focus on this one and then say, okay, we're going to go and say, you said you weren't going to do this. Well, then they say, no, we're not going to do that. And because we're doing this at the site, and they're actually doing option 2. and we don't, you know what I'm saying?
That doesn't answer the question.
Right.
The question is, if an applicant comes before the zoning board of
Board.
adjustment
Right.
at a zoning board hearing,
Mm-hmm.
gives testimony,
Yep.
and then the zoning board makes a decision based on that testimony,
Right.
and then the applicant goes forward and
Does the
does
opposite.
whatever they
Mhm.
reneges on what they've said they would do. And in this case,
Or
it's
wouldn't do.
asbestos. It happens to be the asbestos site.
I think that it's, I
Well,
think it would void it.
I've got a question like for Pat. So as land use coordinator, if someone applied for a building permit for changing a structure, something like that, Chuck goes out to do his inspection and it's got nothing, it's already half done. And it's nothing like what it was originally agreed
Right.
to on that. So what happens in that situation?
He would void it and fine them and make them do
Right.
it the right way.
Would that be a similar option?
Well, I mean, it poses the question
Right.
Mm-hmm.
in general, what
General,
is
right.
the town's
Whether-
option here?
Right.
No, I think Catherine's right, because a while back, there was a case that they stated that they were going to do something and it was totally different. And
Yeah.
So,
another total different case.
I actually think it's, I do think it's, on the face of it, it's a matter of the violation of the agreement more than it is about asbestos. But
Mhm.
Yes.
if I approach it
Yeah.
that way,
Yeah.
I think it's a legal mind that
Yep.
understands ZBA regulations and says, like Byron Bedard, who says, you know what, no, this does null and void this, or they've got to come back for another bite at the apple with the ZBA,
Mhm.
with this plan, which the ZBA can say yay or nay.
okay. So you're going to do the
I-
legal
I am.
research?
Yep.
Okay. Just let us know what,
I will. I'll
what you
keep
come
in
up
the
with.
loop. Yep, you're
Okay.
welcome. I'll keep you in the
Good.
loop.
All right. Selectman Hanson.
Just a couple things. First, I wanted to once again thank Administrator Hilliard,
Right.
Deputy Administrator, Finance Director Pearson, and DPW Duval for that work on that grant. That's a huge benefit.
Yep.
And the work you're going to do for the new grant that you've been
Right.
proposed.
Right.
And also, I'd like to thank Selectman Constantino for filling in for me last night
Right.
while I was out of state for a funeral at the Budget Committee as the alternate ex officio. And I apologize for any personal attacks that you may have received last night. Totally uncalled for.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I'd do it again too. Cover for you, I mean.
to January 6th.
No.
No. All right. That's it. Okay. So I just had one thing. So I want to thank DPW. I want to thank the chief and the PD for a safe and fun Christmas parade. It was a lot of fun. We even got Selectman Hanson to climb up in the bed of the dump truck, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Great. So it was I think it was a great turnout. So I want to thank you guys, and then I want to thank Parks and Rec and everybody for really working hard to make that happen, because there were a lot of kids around. So that was really nice to see. So, and I think it was a well turnout. That's all I have.
Before we go into non-public, because usually a lot of people just bounce off when we do. I personally would love to thank all of our employees, commissions, committees. We have an awesome team working with us here at Town Hall, at the PD, DPW. An amazing group of people that work diligently for us, and happy to be a part of that. So I wish them all the best in the holidays to come here,
Mm.
and be safe, please, and come back rested. You've all done an amazing job and deserve it. And thank you from the bottom of my heart. You've done an awesome job.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think we all probably echo
Yep.
that. So very well said. Thank you. All right. Here we go. The time being 6:23, which we are 7 minutes ahead of schedule. Just want to remind everyone of that. I make a motion to move into non-public per RSA 91A:3, Section 2C. Reputation matters which, if discussed in public, would likely adversely affect the reputation of any person other than a member of this board unless such person requests an open meeting. This exemption shall extend to include any application for assistance or tax abatement or waiver of a fee, fine, or other levy if based on inability to pay or poverty of the applicant. Can I get a second?
Second,
Roll call.
Constantino, yes.
Hanson, yes.
Dawson, yes.
Adams, yes.
This conference will now be recorded.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to come out of non-public.
Second.
Awesome. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Sealing the minutes of December 18th, 2025, because the reasons justifying the need for the non-public session still remain. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Now we're going to move into public comment. And I am now going to step up to the podium. All right. So I am now not a selectman. I am a member of the public. So I wanted to touch base with the select board and have a conversation to see what your thoughts might be. As you probably know, I have been taking classes to get my provisional certificate to be a driver ed instructor. Okay. I have been approached by the Thin Blue Line Driving School to be a teacher in a very part-time basis with that organization. And so in speaking with the owner, Scott Rogers, he had asked me if there was an area in the town of Tilton where we could have a school. And so I chewed on it for a while, thought about it, and I reached out to the chief. And the reason I reached out to him was mainly because I come from, obviously, with my profession. I thought that this could be a very good opportunity for our police department to be somewhat involved, and I'll explain. So I was wondering if it would be okay with the select board to utilize the one of the conference areas at the police department as a for classes. And in talking with Scott, the owner, we would give preferential treatment to Winnisquam High School, Classical Compass Classical, and the Tilton School. And because we all know these classes, they fill up extremely fast. And so by doing something like that, we could and having it at the PD, we could actually have our officers interact with the students to get them to know our local officers. They could spend time with them if time allows it. And I think that is a huge benefit because these students will be driving a lot on our streets, right? mainly because if they're from the high school or the Tilton school or from Compass Classic, they're going to be living in this area, right? So having that connection where these officers are able to stop in, say hi, maybe join me for a class, whatnot, for a few minutes. I think there could be a real advantage to that. And you don't get that with a lot of driving schools, right? And so in talking with the owner, Scott, him, myself, and the chief met, talked briefly, just kind of introduction, and then for having the ability to have it there, it would be kind of like a trial thing to see, if it would work out. And the chief can go into some details in part of that conversation as to, would this be something that could actually work or be viable for students in the area. Scott, and I don't want to speak for him, but he did mention to the chief and I that he would be more than willing to make a donation to the town, to whoever, in lieu of renting space. So just a food for thought. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me, which I see Catherine smiling. But I can let the chief come up, or you can ask me, whatever you guys feel would be appropriate.
Is it a block of 6 weeks, 8 weeks?
Yes. So it would be, and that would be depending. So what would happen is you would have to have someone from the state come up. They measure the room. So they make the determination as to how many students can be in that classroom setting size. Okay. Because there are restrictions on that. And then the state would look at fire extinguishers and, the sprinkler systems and stuff like that to make sure, it's all safe, right, for the students. And then what we would do is it would be either a 6 week or 6 week or 8 week class, or a 10-week class. So depending on the size, right, and the amount of students, you could break it out to you could break it out to like 1 or 2 days a week, and they would be held in the evenings. So 6 to 8, 7 to 9, something like that. So you wouldn't have to worry about daytime, obviously, because they're in school. And so you could make it like a Tuesday, Wednesday, you could make it a Tuesday, Thursday, you could, or in however long, like if it's a 2-day a week class, you would make it X amount of weeks, right? If it's a 1 week, 1 day a week class, it would be longer, right? Or if you did 3 days, it would be shorter. And that's something that Scott and the chief, Scott Rogers, not Scott Hilliard, could work out to determine what would best fit and not impede on any of the police department's everyday business. So.
All right, good evening. So when Eric had come to me and asked this question, if you've known me for a little while, I am only the facilitator of the police department. So let's get that straight, okay? So all I do as I rent the space myself. So no, I just, so I first off said, you obviously go to the board with the public, but I think it's a good idea. The first thing, when Tim knows too, I'm very protective of the police department also. We had the asbestos, we had the things that went on in the town, and we had to sit down and try to figure a way where everyone was going, and not to get off subject, but I was very guarded with the police department because it is a police department. You got to remember, okay? But when Eric came to me with this, chewed on it a little bit. Obviously, it's the town, it's the board's decision. But my idea would be splitting the EOC in half. The back half that's towards the field would be the area. So you split the room in half with the wall. You would let them come in on that side door. Okay. Eric would obviously, he's, works for the town, in the police department, we would figure that side of it. He would be there when the kids are there, or, not at any time you'd be by themselves. They would use the bathroom in the 2 hallways. We have to keep those doors secure, which they are. We have training. It's all cut off. Him and I talked, obviously officers have to go to and from the Sally Port, maybe the booking room and things like that. We just, it's communication. I don't think it'd be a problem. It's just telling the officers what's going on. I think for me, if there was any issues with this, if this went, we would just stop and it wouldn't work. We wouldn't go on with it. Yep. Scott did bring up, how he could, maybe give to the PD or whatever. It needs to go to the town, obviously. I think that the town, obviously, him being a resident, it belongs, the PD is the town's, it is the community. I don't want anything going to the police department, because the police department, obviously. So that's pretty much where we're at with that. I'm on board with it. Because I know Eric, and I know he'll do a good job of making sure, us both being in law enforcement, but definitely will benefit with some of the officers being able to go in there, talk about the rules of the road, talking about the youth op, things like that we're looking out for. You need to smarten up. Maybe we could add, there's so many things you could add to that. But again, I just wanted to say my piece, that him and I had a good discussion. I talked about it a little bit. And I just wanted you guys to know that, how I felt about that. So.
Is this going to be during the day?
No, it's in the evening.
Just in the evening?
Yeah, it would only be in.
There's no training that it's going to interfere with chief?
And that was definitely something we talked about. So what we would do is the chief will have his training schedules already set, because people have to reserve that area. And so we would work around that, or we would not. If he has multiple trainings, right, in a period of time, we wouldn't hold the class.
Build around it.
Right, we build around it. One of the other things too, and I think this is kind of an interesting point, having the ability to interact, right, with the officers. We would have an advantage where we could actually conduct motor vehicle stops in the parking lot with an actual police officer in a police cruiser to show them what it really looks like. Because I can tell you, my daughter even tells me she gets nervous, right? My son's been stopped. He got nervous. And I think it's an opportunity to show that this is how you handle, right, when an officer pulls you over. This is what it looks like. And I think that's an advantage over other driving schools, or other driving classes. And like I said, this is a trial, right, to see if this is something that would work. If the chief and Scott will work out details, I'm nothing right now, but I told Scott that I would present it on his behalf, and he said he would be very willing to come up and speak to the three of you if you had any questions, or if you just wanted to meet him. He said he would be very open to that as well.
I just have a question on the facility, because I'm not familiar with the back of the
Yeah.
Your station. So if an officer's bringing somebody in,
Yep.
would the students have any interaction or see any of that part?
No, it'd be on the backside. So when you guys set up you've used the OC, it's pretty much where you guys set your table up. We've had I think a non-public in that backside.
Yeah, the back.
So when they come in, they're going on the other side of the department. No, but at any time they'll have no interaction with anybody like that. And those are all the things that I thought about in the beginning, was right off the bat. I even talked to him if like evidence or anything, but that's on the other side of the building.
Okay.
And again, it would be communication, because obviously if this happened, I would then have to put my hat on and then figure out a lot of steps that need to go to make sure everything's good to go. You know what I mean? All those things that maybe you don't think about, notifying dispatch, allowing people in, out. How does he get in the building? What if something goes on? How many people are in the building? Who has count of that? If something goes on in the building, who parks? If it's, we've already talked about if it's snowing during the night, we move all the cars to the other side of the building in the dirt lot. There's a lot of things that go on, but It's not anything that we can't handle. It's just, informing the town and the community if that's something they want to move to do.
Better than what I thought it was gonna be when you stood up there and said, well,
No.
So,
You go back up, please.
that's okay. You have a for-profit that wants to utilize town property.
Yes.
Second part of the New Hampshire State Constitution says there has to be a give and a take. It has to be equal.
Yep.
What is the Tilton side of it? And it
So-
can't be Winnisquam School or that because that's a district.
Yep.
That isn't the town of Tilton. Tilton Prep School is not the town of Tilton, blah, blah, blah.
So I look at it as we are going to be building safer children.
That doesn't work.
Okay.
It's strictly, so for example,
What would you like to see, or what would you suggest?
so for example, Northfield was plowing the library without charge, without cost,
Mhm.
and the Pines, and discovered that they can't do that anymore. It was illegal
Okay.
because they're not associated with town. This is not a town entity using town property. So they would have to, the donation, pay
Mhm.
us rent.
Mhm.
They'd have to give us something that's equal to what they're
Yep.
using.
He is,
And I don't know what that is.
yeah. The owner, Scott, is and did mention he's more than willing to make a donation to the town. And you guys can come up with what that would look like. He was 100% okay with that.
I don't know what the value of using that room, 20 nights a month
Yep.
is, but that's what it would be.
Yep.
But I think it's a great idea. I was thinking about when I took driver's ed,
Well, and
but an improvement.
I wanted to, I wanted to talk to the board first, right? And then I will plan on either myself or Scott will reach out to the superintendent and then the head of the school for Compass, classical Compass, and then also for the Tilton school, to let them know that this service, because I can tell you, it is very difficult to find a class, right? Kids are traveling. I mean, my daughter had multiple kids when she took it in Concord. She had multiple kids that came from the Vermont border and further up north just to drive to this class because it was the only one that they could get into. So I kind of look at it as that's an advantage, right, for our area. And then you have the ability to incorporate having the police department and have officers be able to have contact with them to help ease their minds when they're out on the road. And so that's kind of my
Well,
thought.
someone just needs to determine what that value is.
Okay. And how would you like to go about doing that?
Mr. Pearson, Mr. Finance Officer over there ignoring me.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I got a couple ideas.
Okay. And
I think it's marvelous.
Okay.
You would have something, you'd have a complete driver's ed program.
Right.
you would,
Because that was always a missing component.
you would.
If people remember Rosemary Gothier, she ran a program here in Tilton.
Yep.
over- And I would get called as the Northfield Police Chief to come. She always had a policeman come to her class and talk to the kids.
Yeah.
So years ago, so.
Yeah. And there is a lot of oversight just to I don't know how familiar you are, but there is a lot of oversight by the state, DMV, when it comes to these classes. So it's not just them coming and looking at the room. there's reports that have to be filed. There's, there's documentation that has to be completely kept up to date with all of those. And for my part, I would be teaching. That would be my role, is doing the actual in classroom stuff.
Do you know what the average cost is now for?
So my daughter, I can tell you, my daughter paid, or we paid $900 for a class. My son, when he went, it was 775. I think it was 775 or 785 when he went, and that was 4 years ago.
And
If the
typical
chief is-
size? Excuse me, I'm sorry. Typical size of a class?
So
I'm just figuring what
Yep.
his income is going to be off of this.
it could be no more than 30, but when we looked at the room, Scott, I think, estimated, was it 15? 15, because he has a better understanding of the size and whatnot. So he thinks it would be roughly 15 kids.
13 to 15,000 off of this class.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's where I would want to, if you're talking equitable,
Yep.
compensation, that's what I would take that into consideration.
Yep.
As long as the chief's on board with this,
Your house?
it's his house. Yeah, I'm good.
Well, this stays my house. That will probably, we talked with Eric and I, and kind of setting up the rules and the things. And if I have to go in there and talk to the kids also, there's going to be rules. It's a police department.
Yeah.
You got to remember, it's a main thing. It's a police department. A lot of people call it community room. A lot of people call it other things, but it's an EOC training room. We have to make sure that stays that way. But this is something that's a little different, but it can benefit in the future for these kids. And then where it goes from there, who knows? Maybe that's going to be a standard in some of these areas. So it's not a bad thing. Usually there's only one or two places that do driver's ed. It's usually the school that fills up like that. The last place I think was by Headline. Yep.
Down below me.
That closed. And I remember around COVID, I was getting calls from all kinds of parents. Where's driver's ed? Where can I get the kids in? And it's like, there's just no places. So every kid's going to drive. We'd rather them be in our town. They'll learn the area. They'll know the officers, like he said. So I think it'll work out. We just got to get some things figured out. So
The other thing we need to check with is what is our insurance liability?
Yep. And so Scott has to carry insurance for his classes and students and stuff like that as well. So
We're probably going to ask him to name us as additional insured, but we need to find out from our carrier what they would require.
yep. So if you guys, whatever decision you guys make, I will reach out to Scott tomorrow. If you would like to have him come to a meeting and speak during public to answer any further questions, he's obviously more than willing to do that. But whatever information you guys, if you even want to take it up tonight to think about it and make a decision or not, I can let him know, hey, I talked to the board about it and this is what they say. So,
I'm fine with Scott, you and Chief and Tim working it out.
okay.
I am as well.
Okay.
We have some details to look at and
Yep. And I can definitely report back, or the chief can, or Tim, or whoever.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I have one thing before we left that I was supposed to do in non-public.
Uh-oh.
If you just pass it around, Pat.
I'm just going to pass it around because we're supposed to do this in non-public. All right. And then we can just do consensus or sign it. Thank
Oh,
you, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
I was supposed to get back to you with the
Yep.
number.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Supposed to do it in non-pub.
is there enough room in the parking between the building and 132?
well, a lot of those kids are going to not have vehicles to begin with. They're going to be drop offs.
Oh, they're gonna be dropped off. They don't
I thought
drive.
about the same thing. Yeah. At
The,
first, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You're not driving.
The only,
Because we do have like the farmer's
Transparency.
market.
That's right.
Transparency.
Go back room deal, you mean?
Selectman Dawson, to answer your question, the only time that there will be an excess of cars at that facility will be the first night. And that is because that first night is an information session for parents. So when the parents bring their child, they have to stay because there is a lot of information that is provided to the parents that evening. After that, it's a drop off and pickup.
We'd open the whole room for that.
Are you gonna have a specific, don't go here, here, go here?
Yeah, it would be all on locked down.
So at introduction night, you'll
Yeah,
explain to them that.
Exactly. And if,
Stuff.
and also if we can maybe even work out with Scott, one of the things is maybe he can get some signage of some sort. We have the A-frames.
Yeah.
All I have to do is just, get them made up and we can have like parking or drop off or something like that. Something easy. And I think something that would, for the first day, and if these keep going on, you just almost use it for the first couple times and then the parents would know. Because we don't want them coming into the very front. That's used for obviously, police business. So it would be that side entrance in the dirt lot.
Okay.
And when the parents sign up, there's communication between the school and the parent, so they can also provide any additional information or directions or instructions as well at that time.
Sounds like a great idea.
Is it a mandatory drop off after that with like the parents can't hang around?
Yes, parents do not hang around. It is, and they tell you.
Okay.
It's
It was shopping.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's the other thing too. See, there's another benefit. The parents will hang around and shop because if they don't want to go home, they could go out to dinner, they can shop, right? So there we go.
Well, that really benefits the town of Tilton.
Thank you.
Just us crazies, right, Chief?
Interesting.
Thanks.
Okay. All right. So getting back to business here. Any other public comment? No one online? Nothing? Okay. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Chief.
Real quick. So we are doing our Shop with a Cop this Saturday at the Walmart. We have 35 kids.
That should have been an announcement.
I'm sorry about that. 35 kids. I was able to secure that grant through Walmart. So I have right now 13 officers or employees that are going to be there on Saturday. And we'll have 35 kids, 2 groups, from 9 in the morning till 11, the first group. And then the second group will be from 11 till 1 o'clock. So I secured about $5,000 from Walmart through a grant. And then what I do is with the help of welfare. So Heather through the resource center, it's a Tilton Northfield Samberton Christmas Fund. So we get applications from them, and we pretty much help them to get gifts. And how we do that is we call the kids, their parents, and have them meet us at Walmart if they want to participate. And we have them shop with a cop. We give them free range, really. We give them money, and they can pick out whatever they want. And we do that. This is the second year we've done it. So, yeah.
The officer actually go with the
Kid,
child
with
to-
the kid, yep, with the child, yep.
Wow.
Walk around and wherever they want to go and check out the whole deal. Get it right down to the penny, right? We're talking about pennies.
Chief,
Soon to be
So-
Chief, can I ask a question?
Yeah, go right
Would
ahead.
you-
You're not participating.
Would you accept a gray-haired fat guy?
Anytime. If you wanted to join, anybody wants to join, we'll be there. So it's a great event. I'm
No, I
happy.
want to shop.
Oh, you want to shop? Okay, yeah, we could set you up.
Did
So-
you fill out an application?
Did not get your application. You'll have to talk with the welfare director on that one.
This is
So-
not shop with the senior. It's shop with the.
So yeah, that's what we'll be. So, and other than that, I think this season went really well. We got all of our events and it's a busy year. So I want to thank everybody, my employees, everybody did a great job and can't wait till 2026. Everything's starting to plan it now. So
All right,
Thanks,
great.
Chief,
Thank you,
for all
Chief.
you do. Thank you.
You
All right. Well, it's that time.
All right.
Somebody
Ready?
like to make a motion.
Motion
Merry
to,
Christmas.
Merry
Merry
Christmas,
Christmas.
everyone.
Absolutely. Merry
Motion to
Christmas, Tom.
adjourn.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Thank you.